Right now to the public address announcer, Kevin McCarthy, and tonight's starting lineups.
Brickowski. At center, a rookie from Navy, number 50, David Robinson. At guard, in his 12th year from West Texas State, number 10, Maurice Cheeks. And a guard in his second year from Georgia, number 40, Willie Anderson. The head coach of the Spurs, Larry Brown. His assistants, R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich. The trainer, John Anderson. Tonight's other honorary ball boy in his first year at Haggard Middle School is Justin Gardepy. And now introducing the starting lineup for your Dallas Mavericks. And forward in his fourth year from Michigan, number 42, Roy Tarpley. Forward in his sixth year from North Carolina, number 44, Sam Perkins. At center in his 10th season from Washington State, number 40, James Donaldson. At guard in his 7th year from Illinois, number 12, Derek Harper. And in guard in his 9th year from Kansas State, number 22, Rolando Blackman. The head coach of the Mavericks, Richie Adubato. His assistant, Gar Hurd. The trainer, Doug Atkinson.
So you've seen the players. Now let's see the officials. On the left is Ed Middleton. Ed T. Rush is in the middle, and Joe DeRosa is the official on the right. Well, Adrian Dantley out for at least another 4 or 5 weeks with a broken leg, and has not been in the arena for the last couple of games. He wasn't here when they played their last game before the All-Star break against Minnesota. He's not here tonight. They wish he was. And when they asked him where were you the other night, he said, well, I had transportation problems. $1.2 million a year, and the car is just not what it used to be, I guess.
Well, it's no secret about it. You see who they brought in here, Bob McCann. They brought him in from the Pensacola Tornadoes. He was signed today to a 10-day contract. He was in a CBA All-Star game where he averaged 22 points, shot over 53% from the field, about 8.7 rebounds there. So they're trying to fill some of the holes here left by injuries. But there's no secret about it here in Dallas that Adrian Dantley does not want to be here next year and is willing to take a cut and pay in order to get out of here.
You saw the Spurs record, best ever at the All-Star break, and here is the problem Dallas faces. 1-15 against the top 6 teams in the Western Conference. That one win was in overtime over Denver, and they are currently 7th in the Western Conference. So as they try to solidify their playoff picture, they have to start beating some quality competition. They've beaten up on the weaker sisters in the NBA to get to 4 games over 500. The Spurs at 32-14, a half game behind Utah, which comes into Hemisphere Arena, of course, at the end of the week. Friday night, and then a road trip at Houston with Boston at home in the middle. So a very challenging week for San Antonio, and they'll try and get it off on the right foot here at Reunion. Donaldson and Robinson, and David controls the tap. And Mo Cheeks in the matchup with Derek Harper. Perkins against the high-scoring forward for whoever he plays, in this case Terry Cummings, and on the baseline Robinson starts the scoring.
And we've talked about Tarpley possibly matching up with David. So far they have Donaldson on Robinson.
And Robinson on Donaldson as Harper looks for Rolando Blackman off the double screen, the open pick and roll, and David was waiting for Roy Tarpley. Tarpley, I don't think, has ever had that shot blocked, but he comes down and gets the rebound. Harper trying to run it up. Spurs are back and still up 2-0.
Those are the type of plays the Spurs must convert on tonight in order to beat Dallas here in Dallas.
Boy, Tarpley ready to rattle the rim, and all of a sudden the Admiral with a depth charge. Cummings controls. And Cheeks trying to wind his way through the middle. It got crowded. Harper spinning away from Cummings and ties it at 2. For the 6th straight year, he is on pace to set a new Mavericks club steals record. He's got his first of this game.
5th in the NBA, but that steal goes to James Donaldson, tapping it away.
Harper finished it off, and Brickowski turned away. They will run Harper snowbirding. Dallas by 2. Well, the people that have watched Dallas in the 37 games that Adebayo has been their coach says there's no comparison to the style they played, very lackluster under John McLeod before he was fired. In fact, that's one reason he was fired, maybe the major reason.
Gave up the most points, 47, just before his firing.
Brickowski draws the foul as he got sandwiched between Perkins and Tarpley underneath. And Sam Perkins whistled for the first foul of the game.
In baseball, they have utility players, and that's as close as you can get with Sam Perkins. Every time there seems to be an injury or a vacancy that needs to be filled, Sam Perkins is called on, whether it's a six-man or now a starting small forward. And he's anything but small.
And in fact, if Danley hadn't gone down, they were ready to experiment with him at off guard. He would be about a 265-pound off guard at 6'9 and a half. They may still do it by the end of the year. 1-2 for Brickowski. Spurs within one. And three-quarter court pressure by Cheeks as Harper works it up. Perkins guarded by Cummings. Chest to chest. Now Tarpley, brick in his face. So early on, Brickowski drawing the Tarpley assignment. And underneath, Donaldson trying to power in against Robinson. He isn't in the same league in terms of quickness with David, but he is probably the strongest player along with Mark Eaton in the NBA, and that's the challenge David faces. Floating outside, Robinson with his second bucket.
Well, David's got that whole repertoire. He can come outside, shoot a nice short jumper. He's got a turnaround that he's really mastered now, and of course he's got the power to weave his way inside.
He's got every bit of the package that Donaldson has a difficult time keeping up with. Cummings fronting Perkins, who takes it down low and rolls it in. So it's Dallas by 3 again, 8-5 early on in the first period. Last time the Spurs were here, they ended a long losing streak in this building. And played maybe the best fourth quarter defensively that we've seen from them all year. That's saying something. They were absolutely stifling on the defensive end. Cummings off the glass with his first two.
Boy, he faked up to the left, drew a foul, we thought, and was able to sink it in off the glass from the right.
Spurs had lost 11 straight dating back to December of '85 before that victory. And a steal for David, ahead over the shoulder. Cheeks trying to chase it down. And the fans thought he walked. He throws to Tarpley. And Brown says, hey, what about goaltending? Ed Rush interpreted that as a pass, obviously. Donaldson turned away by Robinson. They'll try it again. Brown's point is, hey, pass or shot, it was still within the cylinder. Cummings gets it. And the Spurs go in front by 1.
Well, the All-Star game certainly didn't slow David's hustles down, did it?
He looked like he got a bit of a slow start trying to feel the competition out, and after a couple of minutes was as good as anybody on the floor. Perkins with the loose ball. The garbage bucket, Dallas back in front by 1. Now, you were in Miami. You had the up-close seat.
Oh, there's no question. He started off a little tentative. I think he's just nervous when you're playing with guys like Michael Jordan.
Cheeks blowing past Harper. Very fast-paced game after the first two meetings in which nobody scored 100 points.
David said it's kind of odd for him because he was sitting on the bench at the beginning of the game. That's one thing he had to get used to. Then he had to come in and perform right away. So that was kind of tough at first, but he got used to it, got in the flow, and he said he had a great time.
Got his usual rave reviews.
Oh, he was a media magnet up there.
In and out for Cummings and Donaldson. Second to Tarpley and Maverick rebounding. Tarpley with an outside shot. Finger roll. Stays after it. Got Robinson to land on him, and Tarpley will go for the three-point play.
Well, this is one problem that David had in the All-Star game against Robert Parrish. Here he's faked up the first time, and then Tarpley gets him up off his feet and goes in off the glass and draws a foul. And that's the little problem he had with Parrish in the All-Star game.
Since Tarpley's return 9 games ago, Dallas is 7-2. John McLeod no doubt feels if he had been around for the entire season, McLeod would still be around. That's how much he means to that team. Cummings camping out for a 3, but he had a toe on the line. So only a 2. Cummings with 6, and we're tied at 13. Larry Brown says Cummings and Willie Anderson should have a whole bunch more three-pointers than they have because they have so many where the toe is on the line like that. They don't look down and make sure the feet are set to go for the extra point.
They've been working with him in practice, trying to get him back behind the line. They're going to take the shot from that far out and make it a 3.
Shot clock at 2, and an easy block for David. And since it got nowhere near the rim, it's a shot clock violation. Robinson, the controlling factor, inside again here.
This is 3 blocks for David here in the first quarter. As he goes inside, David goes up. This is an easy shot for him because they were trying to force it to beat the shot clock.
6:38 in the first quarter, tied at 13. David Robinson with a couple of highlight film type projections already for San Antonio. Derek Harper has had a couple of highlights.
Here's a look inside. This is Derek Harper off the break. They had a nice steal that was off of a James Donaldson tip, and Harper just takes it the full length of the court, goes up, and has the easy lay-in off the break. And as you pointed out, Dave, it's been a lot faster paced game than we expected off the bat.
67% by the Spurs, 50% by Dallas. Couple of second opportunities. Robinson, good feed inside to Brickowski, and the passing ability of David Robinson.
Well, he can do it all, can't he?
15-13. Here again, that's the type basket that a couple of months ago they probably would not have been able to pull off just because of unfamiliarity. There's very little of that anymore, and Cummings from behind Donaldson with the takeaway. One-man break until he finds Cheeks, and that ends the break. Willie Anderson handles it for, I think, the first time tonight, and Robinson floats in, can't get the roll. But the Spurs en masse back defensively.
I had a chance to talk to Red Auerbach waiting for Billy Cunningham to the All-Star game. He said what he wouldn't give for David Robinson right now.
Well, remember back in '87, the theory was, as Blackman hits his first 2, Robinson might sit out a year, not sign with San Antonio, and go with either the Lakers or Boston. I'm sure Auerbach said many a prayer over just that scenario, which luckily for those of us that get to watch him nightly didn't happen. Anderson to answer, and Tarpley and Cummings battling, and it'll be out of bounds off of Terry.
Right now what the Mavs have done is they're clogging the middle. They're clogging the lane because they realize that's the Spurs' strong point. They can't get a cutter inside, so they're having to go with the baseline or the outside jump shot, and it's not falling for them.
Rick way out against Tarpley. And Willie anticipating the Perkins pass. Here he goes. Willie Anderson. The same type anticipation that Cummings had the previous possession. Very well scouted, this Dallas offense. And they double Donaldson where he's almost sure to turn it over. He does here, and it's Cheeks. Blocked by Perkins, and Harper takes it away.
Boy, Perkins really got up off the glass.
Blackman around David Robinson, and then Donaldson misses, and a whistle inside. This one goes on Willie Anderson.
Well, take a look inside here as the Mavs try and convert on the block. This is going inside. Oh, double bang. Off of Willie, off of David, and there goes James Donaldson up to try and put it back, but they call it on Willie.
Well, they got it right. They just got it one Maverick late because he definitely fouled Blackman. It's Donaldson at the stripe instead. And the Spurs will take that exchange because, as you see, only 70% by James. Blackman leads the team. 85% for Adebayo, flanked by his assistant Gar Hurd. And scout Keith Grant behind those two. 1 of 2 by James, so the Spur lead is 1 still. Rick not looking for it. David was. Brickowski having some trouble this possession. Here's Cummings, and that would have been a 3. Cheeks, right place, right time for the rebound. Boy, the level of play compared to the first 2 meetings between these two.
It's a totally different team in attitude.
A couple of notches higher on both ends, really, because of the familiarity the Spurs now have with one another. Illegal defense against Dallas, and Larry Brown wants a timeout. Richie Adebayo doesn't mind the illegal D, likes what he saw. Full timeout with 3:59 remaining in the first period, and it's San Antonio by 1. We play midway first period, 17-16. David Robinson with 4 points, couple of blocks. His usual strong start against Dallas. He's dominated them this year. Look at the comparison with the other 2 dominant centers among the young guys in the NBA. Only Olajuwon by 0.1 rebound and 0.01 in field goal percentage has better numbers than David Robinson. So when you talk about those three in the same breath, you're talking about the Admiral at the head of that extremely impressive class.
One reason why we have a near full house again tonight.
Well, they sold them all. Last time we were in here, they had several thousand no-shows, maybe a few hundred. Tonight is all. The word is out around the league about number 50. Brickowski off the Perkins long-range miss, and nobody on David for the reverse.
I don't think it's a matter of choice on that one. I just don't think they could catch up to him.
Not many centers snowbird with David Robinson, 19-16 as a result. And Brickowski again bothering Tarpley way away from the bucket. Off the screen, Blackman converts. Rowe, after his fourth All-Star appearance, he was a late addition after Karl Malone was a scratch. And Blackman, one of the top three scorers for the West, with 15 on 7-9 shooting. Good feed by Anderson around the double team. Cummings, Tarpley, and they delay his outlet pass very well. His fourth rebound, but no chance to run off of it. And from long distance, Blackman sees it goes off Donaldson out of bounds.
Well, we haven't seen the switch in the matchup we thought we might see tonight. It's rumored that Donaldson will switch off to get a lot of Brickowski, and they try and swing Tarpley over to stop the Admiral. And so far, we haven't seen that. It's been center on center tonight.
All alone in the corner. Anderson rims it out. Look at Robinson. Away from Tarpley. That's as impressive an offensive rebound as you're going to see in the NBA.
And he was hanging back by the three-point line to try and draw the defense out. As soon as his shot went out, he went right for the rebound.
Took it away from the two Mavericks 7-footers. And Cummings away from Perkins. Spurs can get a little pad here. And again, a wide open man, but Cheeks passes it up early in the shot clock cycle. Plenty of time. Foot block against Dallas, and they reset the shot clock. And we will see John Elliott along with Caldwell Jones off the Spur bench. Herb Williams off of the Dallas bench.
This is Sean's 8th game to come in off the bench. He's averaging just over 6 points a game. A little under 2 rebounds and shooting 39% since he was moved off the starting lineup.
A couple of good, strong outings and a couple not so strong. So he's still getting his sea legs in his new role as sixth man. Robinson looking for the alley-oop, not there to Caldwell Jones, and Elliott misfires. David over the back this time of Rolando Blackman, and that is his second foul. First in the last 2 minutes against San Antonio. And quickly, Brown gets Brickowski back in for Robinson. Well, certainly the only negative in his first quarter. He's got the Spurs up by 3, a minute 28. Jones and Brickowski as they double the poor ball handling Donaldson. Harper through traffic draws a Spur foul, and they have the bonus the rest of the way.
This time it's on Brickowski. Watch Harper trying to just go straight in the lane. He goes around Mo Cheeks, and there's Brickowski in the lane. He fouls him on the arm. One more time. This is from the floor here. You see Brickowski trying to be set and swings over with the left arm to draw the foul.
Fifth point for Harper. He's had a couple of good games against the Spurs. 20 points in the first meeting. Spurs get Vernon Maxwell in for the first time. He replaces Anderson.
We're talking about the injury situation for Dallas. He's the only Maverick to play every game. He's been one of the consistent factors for Dallas this season.
And only 1 of 2 got his own rebound. They'll pull it back out. A minute 10 in the period. 21-19 San Antonio. Key play of the period, probably the one on which Robinson went for the offensive board, got his second personal foul. That might have made for a 5-point advantage. And that one goes against Dallas. Donaldson ends up flat on his back, and he's called for his first personal.
I think when you look at the replay, here. Watch, it's going to be the left side here off the rebound. And there you see Donaldson getting caught up with Brickowski. Brickowski powers him down, but it was Donaldson that was doing the holding inside on Brick.
Smash face basketball.
NBA version of slam dance.
Yeah, Donaldson can palm Brick's face. And did. Mo Cheeks from the circle. 4-point San Antonio advantage. At 23-19, they should give it back one more time. Dallas with the big men way away from the bucket in their half-court set. You're seeing Donaldson, Williams, and Tarpley all about 30 feet away, asked to handle the ball. Not what they do best. 3 to shoot. Harper desperation. And the putback by Donaldson. Strong enough to camp out inside of Jones, and it's 23-21.
Give credit to Harper because he realized that Donaldson was moving up on that baseline for the rebound. He waited almost for Donaldson to be in position just in case he missed the baseline.
Well, that's playing together for 5 years. That's what the Spurs are rounding into. That type of knowledge of one another's nuances. We're down to 7, and look at Cheeks blowing past Donaldson, counted with a foul.
Oh, boy, what a veteran move there. And he picks up the foul on the James Donaldson. That is his second in the first quarter. Here's another look as he powers down around behind Derek Harper. He goes up, and Donaldson looked like he may have caught him on the pass.
David Wingate in. Elliott to the bench, the master at running the quarter-ending play. Mo Cheeks, but no three-point play. Donaldson with 3 seconds looking. Blackman with 1, a running three-pointer, and it is just off. So after 1, the Spurs by 4 as they go for their second straight win here in Reunion, 25-21. Dave Barnett, Greg Simmons back in Dallas, where it's the Spurs by 4. What a period for Robinson.
David Robinson has the speed necessary to get down the court. You saw him break away there. But one problem, if there is any problem that David had, it was with foul trouble in the first quarter. And there he's called for his second foul in that period. He's trying to go up. But look at that offensive move there by David Robinson to get over James Donaldson. Just such a move. I mean, he waited for that rebound outside, bolted to the basket, and was there in position for the rebound in the basket. But again, he picks up 2 fouls in the period.
So he's still on the bench to start quarter number 2. Boy, between them, the guys he jumped over in that highlight, Tarpley and Donaldson average about 23 rebounds per game. That's as good a rebounding tandem as you will find, and they stood by helplessly as he took it away from both of them. Brad Davis in to start the second quarter, throws it behind Blackman, but Tarpley right there for it. And air ball from about 20 feet out by Roy. Sean Elliott in a hurry up court. Caldwell Jones, not the man that usually finishes a Spur fast break. And Brickowski with 5. He came in red hot, 66% over his 7 games as a starter. And the lead is 6. Mavericks have missed 8 of their last 11 field goal attempts. They've gone cold. Behind the Herb Williams screen, Blackman tries to heat him back up, and he's got 6. Sean Elliott took his eyes off of it. Well, here's the way we can summarize it for you. A couple of blocks, 6 points, and a steal for David. 5 points, 5 boards for his opposite number, James Donaldson. And it's Dallas controlling the boards early. They are one of the poorer rebounding teams in the NBA, so that's a surprise. His foul on Vernon Maxwell is his first. Diamond Shamrock's Year of the Uniform continues this Friday when the Spurs host the Utah Jazz. The first 3,000 youngsters, age 14 and younger, receive a free mini basketball courtesy of Diamond Shamrock and Gatorade. The Year of the Uniform brought to you by Diamond Shamrock, your just around the corner store for gas and groceries. In a 2-man set, Davis to Tarpley. Brickowski cuts off the baseline, but the jump hook is there for Roy, and he's got 5. And they cut the 6-point lead to 27-25. Vernon Maxwell and Wingate in the backcourt for Larry Brown. Elliott driving on Perkins. Big advantage in quickness, and Sean ends up sliding backwards after his first 2. And the initial points off the bench by any of the Spurs tonight. Greg, if there's a theme that we can follow the second half of the season, I think it's going to be that, the development of the Spurs bench.
In particular, the development of also Sean Elliott, how he comes around, how he gets his confidence level. He started out a little shaky again tonight. Let's see if he gets the shot going here.
Brickowski free, and a bit long, but there's Caldwell Jones for the tap in. Most impressive number about Old Man River this year. He is second on the team in rebounds per 48 minutes played at an amazing 13 per game on that 48-minute projection. And this foul on Frank Brickowski, his second. Caldwell Jones playing about 14 minutes per game over the last couple of weeks, solidifying his spot in the rotation. And Robinson back in after Brickowski's second foul.
That rebounding, such a big key. Just under 4 a game in the last 5-game average.
And not playing that many minutes. I mean, he maximizes what time he does get. David up to harass Donaldson. Every time he's handled the ball, you'll notice they want him to have to put it on the floor. And this may be big trouble if it's on David. It is his third, and it is.
Yeah, David and both David and Sean Elliott were trying to harass Perkins, and Robinson was called for his third foul. He's going to have to sit down immediately, and David can't believe it. Let's take a look at it here. Let's see what happens. Perkins will be sandwiched between Elliott and Robinson here as Robinson drops down for the double team. I don't see the foul in there. I do not see the foul.
Well, but he reached for the ball, and normally that's a reflex call by an official. Regardless of who it is, they see you try and slap at it, they will call the hacking foul. 31-25 as Robinson goes out. Perkins flat on his back looking for a three-point play.
Now that's a foul, and you take a look at it, and the guy that commits it is David Wingate here, as watch Perkins trying to move in between, and actually he's going to be on Caldwell Jones there, 27, Caldwell Jones. Take another look at it. There you see Jones trying to slip over at the last second. He causes Perkins to go down, and he's called for the foul as well. But in that case, what they were trying to do again is double up on Perkins using Elliott and Jones that time.
Sam, as usual, very active defensively. Couple of blocks, couple of steals already, but no three-point play. And it's still 31-27 San Antonio. Spurs have Cummings back in. With Robinson on the bench, they had to get him back for the offense. Shot clock at 2. Wingate barely gets it off in time. And now DeRosa says he didn't. He says shot clock violation, and Brown, of course, begs to differ.
Well, Rush called it as a shot off. He did not call it a violation. Rush had the shot up, and it was ready to fall in. It should have been a 24-second reset because it came off the rim.
I think the question that DeRosa tried to answer was, did he get it off in time? It did hit the rim, but DeRosa rules that it was still on his fingertips when the buzzer sounded, so you saw the turnover comparison, and the Mavericks can cut it to 2.
And DeRosa was on the other side of the court when he made the call.
Sam Perkins stripped for the second time tonight by Terry Cummings. Both times, perfect anticipation by Terry, and he draws the foul at the other end.
Terry this time said, to heck with all this. He's going straight to the basket. Either get the basket or draw the foul. This time it's going to be
Brad Davis. Terry has seen this offense a few years. And will go to the line for the first time. Terry off a 7 of 19 performance against Indiana Thursday. 18 points, but excelled on the boards with a dozen, and that one off the glass. Nowhere near his usual touch.
He's 16th in the NBA in scoring. His career-high 52 against the Charlotte Hornets. Remember that. And then he misses the second of the 2 free throws.
What a job by Wingate on the offensive glass, and then Harper was there to strip Caldwell Jones. I'm not sure what happened to Cummings, but both his free throws were about 5 to 10% too hard. Off the glass and then hard off the back iron. Another three-point chance for Sam Perkins. This foul on Sean Elliott, the 5th team foul. The Mavericks have been called for only 1.
Not getting away with anything here. They call him for the hand check as Perkins goes up on the spin.
Guy that has to shoulder more of the scoring load. Sam Perkins, in the absence of Adrian Dantley, he becomes the small forward. And over the last 5 games, averaging just under 18 per contest. That's better than Dantley's number before he went down. Of course, a much better rebounder and defender than Adrian Dantley, so they win in those categories. For 3, in and out by Maxwell, and a loose ball foul on Dallas. Herb Williams in the battle inside called for his first.
Herb Williams, who personally knows James Buster Douglas.
Yeah, I grew up with him in Columbus, Ohio.
Did he say he played high school basketball with him?
Said Buster wasn't a bad basketball player, but his dad was in boxing and obviously had influence on Buster. And he said all along Buster's saying, I can beat Mike Tyson. They said, yeah, you think you can beat Mike Tyson. Until he proved it the other night. 7th rebound by James Donaldson. And off the hands of Perkins, a foot race, and Vernon knocked out of his hands. Harper and Brad Davis do the job.
Now they reached in for the ball that time. See if they got any flesh in the process, but there you see Brad Davis reaching now. Looked like his elbow knocked the ball free from Vernon.
Yep. Clean knockaway by 34-year-old Brad Davis. Elliott misfiring. There's the 8th rebound already by James Donaldson. The All-Star rest agreed with him. And then Elliott at the other end. Wingate underneath, knocked away from Cummings. And again it was Davis.
Boy, Brad Davis, the oldest Dallas Maverick here, and he is playing like he's 25 on this court.
Well, it's interesting. The 2 guys who probably used the rest most for the Dallas roster. Dallas with Davis at 34, Donaldson at 32, and they look 10 years younger than that tonight. Spurs turn it over on an offensive foul on Jones. So now among the San Antonio big men, Robinson with 3, Jones 2, and Brickowski 2. They have really stacked up the fouls. And still stuck on 31-30 as we go under 7 minutes. Herb Williams challenging Jones, and Elliott again inside for the defensive rebound. Knocked away from behind, and here's Davis. Ball-hawking Dallas defense. The Spurs have not seen this from them this year. Foul number 3 on Jones, so he joins Robinson.
Well, that was a tough foul to draw because Williams had a free shot at the baseline. Jones had to come over to try and make the block, and Williams was not going to be denied that time after he missed the basket the last time.
Timeout with the Spurs clinging to a 1-point lead.
More HSE Spurs telecast coming your way this month at 7:30 on Friday. The Utah Jazz live from the Hemisphere Arena. Then on Friday, February the 23rd, it's against Minnesota, also from the arena. Then we get the road, 8 o'clock on Sunday, February the 25th. It's at the LA Clippers. And on Monday at 9:30, February the 26th, against the Kings. And on Wednesday at 9:30 at Golden State. Hope you join us for those.
First free throw good by Herb Williams. Already 11 steals. This has been a ball hawker's delight tonight. And Dallas goes in front, 7 unanswered points, and the Spurs helping that streak by missing their last 6 field goal attempts. Dallas going to the half-court trap, and the Spurs try to keep 1 pass ahead of the double team. Wingate into traffic for the finger roll, and he draws contact and a foul. On Sam Perkins, his second. On the Mavericks, their 3rd team foul.
One thing the Spurs have had problems with is not converting on their turnovers or also getting back on the steals. Remember when Robinson made the block, they were unable to convert. Willie Anderson missed the easy shot inside. So that's one thing the Spurs are a little tentative going in tonight.
And with that make by Wingate, only 2 of 6 at the stripe, so they've had trouble when they have gone to the line. Roy Tarpley back in for Dallas. First 2 of the night for Wingate. And we seesaw back and forth with the Spurs back to a 1-point advantage. Maxwell out to Hound Davis, who goes right past him. The wraparound feed to Donaldson, waved off.
And then called Willie for holding inside on James Donaldson.
So Willie now with 2. Let's recap it now. Robinson and Jones, 3 fouls. Brickowski and Anderson now 2 fouls. And for Dallas, Donaldson and Perkins both with 2. And James at the line. Most accurate field goal shooter in pro basketball history, but he struggled at the stripe this year. Well below his normal accuracy at only 70% for the season.
You have to wonder if it's not in the way he bends his knee. Maybe he favors it just a hair coming off the knee injury. Maybe that's forcing him to adjust his free throw.
That's a good point. A lot of people didn't expect him to play basketball again, and he didn't miss a day. He was there for training camp. Terry Cummings outside, 8 points. He and Robinson, each with 8 to lead the Spurs, and they lead by 2. The pace has really slowed in the second quarter. It was run and gun in the first. Tarpley, his own miss, easy putback and a foul.
That's the killer, getting the three-point play out of that because they had 2 guys in to beat the Spurs on the board.
And Terry Cummings called for his first foul. Wingate and Maxwell back out. Cheeks is returned along with Brickowski. Look at Caldwell Jones. And Roy Tarpley. Well, the free throw shooting suffering tonight for both teams. Cummings against Perkins, and then the double came late at him from Roy Tarpley, and another foul on Sam. So Cummings set him up, got his rhythm the way he wanted, and then forced the 3rd foul against Sam Perkins. So Adebayo thinking about going back to his bench, and he will reinsert Herb Williams.
Yeah, and the key here is the Spurs figure that they need to get some people in foul trouble in the opposition. They're already suffering here with both their big men, Caldwell Jones, and also Dave Robinson with 3 fouls. So they want to return the favor.
Williams in for Perkins. Cummings really hit the pre-All-Star break part of the schedule, playing great ball. Previous 6 games to tonight, 27 points, 9 rebounds per game. And of course that included that 52-point outburst. And it's 37 to 35.
He's had 25 or more points in 17 of the last 33 games.
Anderson now on Davis, and Brad Davis burns him for his 21st three-pointer of the year. He saw Willie back off, and Davis at 34 still quick enough to drive, so that gave him room for the 3. And at the other end, the 9th rebound by James Donaldson. What a difference without the Admiral here in the second quarter. They have worked hard defensively. They make Tarpley go to the deck, and then Davis kicks it to Brickowski. Cheeks had his jersey grabbed, and they'll call him for traveling. Now he is furious because they didn't see the previous foul.
They didn't see Brad Davis run up behind him and grab his jersey. And then Cheeks was so upset, he lost his concentration, walked with the ball, thought he was going to get a foul called here. Here's the travel as Harper goes in, and that's where they call him for taking the extra step. But you didn't see is Brad Davis literally hanging onto the jersey on the break.
He was like a desperate safety. Jerry Rice going past him. Herb Williams, first field goal, and it's Dallas by 3, 40 to 37. Yeah, Davis close to a breakaway foul, in fact. And instead it is traveling on Cheeks. Cummings keeping the Spurs within 1, and pretty much is the offense since Robinson sat down after his 3rd foul. Side cleared for Williams. Tarpley up high, had trouble dealing with Brickowski. Blackman away from Anderson. Williams, and a one-handed board for Donaldson rather. They wave off the basket well after the whistle on Caldwell Jones. That is 4 fouls, and Larry Brown's got another headache to worry about.
Oh boy, Excedrin headache number 301 here for Larry Brown, because he now has a lot of problems inside, and they're having to go against James Donaldson here. And what happened was Jones just got beat on the baseline by Donaldson, made a desperate move.
James now 1 of make it 2 of 5 at the stripe. What you're seeing is this Dallas team play Eastern Conference style basketball. That's where Adebayo hails from. Assistant coach at Detroit and an interim coach there after they fired Dick Vitale. Coach with the Knicks before he was hired by Dick Motta and the Mavericks, and he wants him to play a muck-it-up type game. That's what has got the Spurs in foul trouble. Cheeks turnover taken underneath by Rolando Blackman. 7th turnover by the Spurs in this period. I don't remember but 1 or 2 unforced. Tarpley almost with an unforced turnover there. With 5 to shoot, here comes Tarpley. And a block by Jones, but Brick may have gotten him with the body and did, and that is his 3rd.
Brickowski, what happened there, he didn't go out. He did not go out and try and get his man when Tarpley was in trouble way back at the half-court strike. He paid the price right here because Tarpley was able to move in on him, and he just hacks him across the shoulders.
Tarpley getting the roll. Think they weren't a different team without him? They were 17 and 16 during his 33-game suspension. They're trying to win their 8th in 10 games since he returned. And they go up by 4 late 2nd period. Cummings throws it away. Harper underneath where he expected Cheeks to be. And a one-man fast break.
And tell me the Dallas Mavericks are not playing better defense.
Better offense, better everything. Timeout, Larry Brown. 2:47 in the half. Dallas with its biggest lead. By 6. Terry Cummings a little out of control. He's going to leave his feet, and the most open man on the floor, unfortunately for him, is Derek Harper.
5th in steals in the NBA, and look at that dribble. He goes behind his back and between his legs there to get around Terry Cummings, and he takes it up and in for 2.
Mo Cheeks against Harper. Spurs needing a bucket here. And Terry Cummings provides it. 14 for the half, 8 here in the 2nd period. They've all come since Robinson's 3rd foul. So when you need that scoring man on the shoulder, that's where Terry steps up. 45-41 game. Tarpley through Cummings, off Williams. And the Spurs get a break.
Good defense by Cummings, recognizing the play, the break to the basket. He was there to stick a hand in.
They can cut it to 2 as we head toward the 2-minute mark of quarter number 2. Anderson quiet so far. Jones to the corner. 5 to shoot for Mo Cheeks. And way off to the left. Tarpley controls. It's Harper against Cheeks. Blackman against Anderson, who got the block. Willie Anderson. And Brickowski. Too hard. Harper will run it again. Pump fake, and then Tarpley to finish it with the jam.
That was an assist right out of the Magic Johnson playbook. A no-look feed, fake to the right, dish to the left.
4th assist by Harper. Good job by Anderson keeping that one away from Harper. And then a tough 2 on the baseline for Willie as he is fouled. This one on Blackman is 1st and 5th against the team.
It's only Willie's 2nd basket tonight. Quiet here early. Likes to heat up usually in the 4th period. Look forward to that, we hope. Has a shot here at the line, and he's had 3 double-doubles this season so far. And in the 6 games average, he's just over 15 points, 7 assists, shooting almost 50% from the field.
Willie cuts the lead in half down to 47-44. And he was ready for Rolando Blackman. Open man is Williams. His best game of the year, the last meeting between these two, season high 21 points. In the Spurs 99-93 victory here, December 8th. Willie again on the baseline. He has been the master of the left side of the low post the last couple of possessions.
One thing that's dogged the Spurs here is, remember when Willie made that great block on the other end, they just couldn't convert on the offense.
That time he converted himself. And it's Harper with time to measure it. Maybe too much time. Harper. Before his suspension last year, a lot of people thought he was the best rebounder in basketball, and particularly on the offensive glass. He's got huge hands and a knack of tapping it to himself. Even if he can't grab it the first time he makes contact, he'll volley it up 2, 3, 4 times, then grab it, then put it in. And a steal. Blackman away from Cheeks. 10 seconds. Harper with one eye on the clock, one on Cheeks. Now to work with 2 seconds. Over to Tarpley at the buzzer. Well, not a real good shot considering they had plenty of time to set it up. And Larry Brown's Spurs go to the halftime locker room down by 5. Intense defense in the second period after a run-and-gun first quarter. 51-46 Dallas at halftime. Antonio as we get set to start the third quarter. David Robinson in only 12 minutes in the first half. 4 of 5 from the field. 8 points, 2 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks, but 3 fouls.
Here's one of them right here. Watch David challenge Roy Tarpley. Tarpley had a clear shot. Look at the power David has and the quickness and the leaping ability and that long arm. Then you have Derek Harper here. He's talked about David Robinson having 2 blocks. What a great defensive move. But also Derek Harper had 3 steals in the first half. Here's one of them off a nice pass here from Terry Cummings. Then he goes between the legs. I love that to get it right by Terry Cummings and to the basket for 2 of his 4.
That's like what Wayne Gretzky does with a hockey puck. That type of move by Harper. Dallas ball. And it's Blackman inside to Donaldson. They go right after Robinson, hoping he'll commit his 4th foul. And sure enough, Donaldson able to overpower him down on the low post and go for 9 points. In the first half, 15 fouls against San Antonio, 8 fouls against Dallas. Robinson answers with the developing jump hook, and he's got double figures. David now 5 of 6 from the field. Probably to keep the second half, how long they can keep him away from his 4th foul. This will be a hold by Brickowski, and this is his 4th.
And so we got 2 guys with 4 fouls now, Caldwell Jones and Frank Brickowski. And one addition here about David Robinson, he told me his wrist bothered him a little bit in the All-Star game. He has it taped up his left wrist, that's his shooting hand, and has a little tendonitis in that wrist.
What could have fooled me, the way he shot tonight. Perkins jump hook, and he's got 11. That has been the shot so far in the first minute of the third period that has accounted for all 6 points. And the Mavericks by 7. Robinson draws a Donaldson foul this time. Tarpley also underneath. Now they're going to call it on Roy. It's his first. The Spurs probably prefer it had been on James. It would have been his 3rd.
Watch how quick David is here. He's going to fake the shot there for a second. Looks like he's going to make a look at it, and then he just runs right by everybody. And Tarpley's called for making body contact along with that right arm. But look how he got right between the 2 defenders, and Tarpley was left all alone, had no place to go except try and bang him.
Now the fans behind the basket over there, a la the ACC, throwing up those brick signs. And only 1 of 2 by David. 55-49. It's not that they're welcoming Frank Brickowski to Dallas, I don't think. Double team on Perkins, the open man in the corner for 3. Harper passes it up and turns it over. Donaldson expected a shot rather than a pass. Off balance runner, Anderson. Almost an afterthought to put that one up. He looked to pass first, and then at the last instant, he got his 9th point, and the Spurs within 4.
Key to the second half will be Willie Anderson's performance. He's going to have to take over a lot of scoring, along with Terry Cummings, of course.
Clear out for Perkins, into trouble, and another Spur takeaway, and here's Robinson. Bounce pass, 2 more for Anderson.
Okay, when's the last time you see a center dribble the length of the floor?
Well, never. No, I take that back. Ralph Sampson used to try to do that, but not quite as well as David just did. And it's 55-53. 5 unanswered San Antonio points. Tarpley trying to get Brickowski's 5th foul. Anderson the rebound. They can pull even. And it's a wide open Mo Cheeks. Cummings will chase it down. want everybody on the same page. Brick up high, Robinson low. And Cummings over a double team. So still Dallas by 2. Key number to watch as Cheeks knocks it off of Harper and out of bounds.
Boy, Mo Cheeks gave Ed Rush an earful on the way into the locker room at halftime. Didn't feel like the game was being called fairly on both sides, and let him know it too.
Third Dallas turnover this period. And you saw the Spurs got only 4 points off turnovers in the entire first half. All alone, Brick, and just eases that one down.
I don't think he intended to ease it down. He wanted to ram it in there. It came off the back of the rim a little bit, but also Brickowski almost laid out Perkins.
So it's 7 straight by San Antonio to tie it at 55. Brick over to help Robinson on Donaldson, and again they make him put it on the floor, and again they turn it over. I'm not sure Sam Perkins would have gotten the shot off in time had he handled that ball. The shot clock was at 2. So 4 minutes into the third period, and the Spurs shoot for the lead and get it, and it's 16 for Terry Cummings and Richie Adebayo up for a timeout.
David Robinson's playing like a point guard. He passes the ball, he dribbles the ball. It's incredible.
So what a turnaround here, the early part of the third period. 9 unanswered San Antonio points, and they lead it by 2. Game is sold out. You can still see the game on Paragon Cable's First Choice pay-per-view. You must have a Z-View converter, and the cost is $12.95, or you can attend the Miller Lite Spurs Spirit Party at the Convention Center South Banquet Hall. The game will be shown live on a giant TV screen. There will be many other contests and activities, including a post-game party. Doors open at 6:30. $5 will get you in. Or, if you have a game ticket, come on by. That's for Boston at the Spurs tomorrow night. After the timeout, they run Blackman off the screen. He's got 8. That ends 9 unanswered San Antonio points and ties it at 57. 4 Dallas turnovers, none by the Spurs. The key number here in the third quarter. And the Mavericks go to slapping at the ball. 5 to shoot. Robinson up big. Banged on by Perkins. No whistle. And David still gets the bucket, and he's got 13.
David should have gotten the foul plus the 2 there, but it was an amazing effort of his to get that ball up and in off the glass after he was bumped.
And then in front of Donaldson for the knockaway.
Boy, David Robinson, look how quick he is, but he actually makes a veteran move to get this ball up. Now watch this. He's banging against Donaldson here. That was a nice move inside for the attempted steal. Just went off his hand.
Off the inbounds and missed by Blackman. And then Harper from behind Robinson, who almost beheaded Willie Anderson. And the foul on Derek is first. Wait a minute, they call it on Perkins. Not sure where they got that. Fans don't like it either because that's his 4th. And we'll see if that stays on the books. And Anderson hits on the running hook. That is 13. And now Ed Middleton does correct the previous call. It's not on Sam Perkins. It is the first on Harper.
That was scary because I didn't see Perkins anywhere near that foul.
Well, it's because he wasn't.
That's right.
Spurs from 5 back to 4 up in 5.5 minutes. And they almost get another turnover. Shot clock at 7 for Harper behind the Tarpley screen. Caldwell Jones in for the rebound and managed to stay inbound. And it's Anderson from the corner. Perkins the other way to Harper. Robinson stayed back the whole time. No chance for a fast break. Key number to watch as we wind into the second half. If Dallas gets to 100 points, and Tarpley unable to continue that march toward 100. When they get at least 100, they're 19-5. When they don't, they're 7-17. And this foul will put Willie Anderson on the stripe, and he's holding his mouth.
Yeah, he took a pretty hard jolt there down the baseline.
This one, the 3rd on James Donaldson and on the team. This is a total reversal. Dallas back on their heels. They're committing the fouls and the turnovers here in the third quarter. And the Spurs, whose season-long strategy is make teams react to us, are doing just that since halftime.
And that's what they've told them at the halftime, whatever you want to call it, speech or yelling or chewing. In this particular case, I know Larry was unhappy with their first-half performance. They have to be the aggressor. They have to make teams react to what they're doing. And here they're making Dallas really adjust their defense.
And the tough part of that is, we keep harping on this, they have so many key people in foul difficulty. So they have to be aggressive, but they have to really be smart about it. Blackman to double figures with 10. 63-59 San Antonio. 5.5 minutes of the third. All alone is Cummings. And Robinson one-handed away from Donaldson for the follow. Tarpley. Harper underneath, back from Perkins. And Willie Anderson got all ball, and Cummings takes the miss by Tarpley. Mavericks really coming up empty. Donaldson against Robinson, who thought he was fouled, and again no call. Harper. And I think we can safely say they are letting them play.
What an exchange, and what a turnaround from the first half where they're calling every reach in, every move at the ball, and now they're just letting them go.
Boy, you had the Mavericks looking for a call. You had Robinson looking for a call. Willie had a great block, and now another running one-hander. He's got a 10-point third period and 17 for the game. That leads all scorers.
Remember when I said coming out of the first half that Willie was going to have to take over a lot of the scoring load quickly, and he's done that.
They post Perkins on Cummings for the air ball. Fumbled away by Donaldson. And it is Cheeks holding it up. Left-hand runner short by Cummings. Donaldson at the other end. Cummings wrestling with it. But he is one of the Spurs who doesn't have to worry about fouls. This is only his second, and the second against the team.
Perry decided to take a chance that the shot wouldn't fall for him as he made a nice move up on the baseline. Tried to take a shot at it, picked up the foul.
Brown making some changes. Brickowski back in. And Vernon Maxwell in. Anderson and Cummings take the rest, and Herb Williams in for Sam Perkins.
Larry Brown wants to keep the energy level up. He's telling Robinson and Brickowski, keep it up. Let's go.
Got some fond memories of this building. His '86 Kansas team played here in the Final Four. Came very close to an appearance in the finals. And of course, 2 years later, they won the whole thing. Offensive board, Tarpley, and the block by Brickowski, and a save by Robinson. Boy, Roy Tarpley in his whole life hadn't had as many shots blocked as he's had tonight. And by different people. Now it's Brick through tough traffic. Brick with 9. The lead is 6.
Boy, Brickowski knocking the ball away. David having the speed and that arm reach to get out off of this off balance there and able to pull the ball back in bounds.
This is a very balanced performance by San Antonio. 5 to shoot for Harper. Look at Caldwell Jones hound him. Now it's Blackman with 1, barely off in time, and he gets it. A dozen for Blackman.
Talk about a clutch shot. 1 second on the clock when he put it up.
At the other end, Robinson. Not quite there. Out of bounds, still Spur ball. To the disbelief of Herb Williams. And a Larry Brown timeout. 2:49 in the third period. Adebayo and the Mavericks from 5 up at halftime to 4 down here. Back in a moment. The NBA at 30.4 per game, and he will be part of our next HSE Spurs telecast from Hemisphere this Friday evening. 7 o'clock for Sports Talk, 7:30 is our tip-off time. Hope you can join us.
Missed the All-Star game, replaced it in on the Western Conference All-Stars by Blackman of the Mavs.
And a quick whistle as soon as the ball is thrown in. This one on Derek Harper, his second, 4th against the team. Foul trouble For the Spurs, Brick and Jones each with 4. Robinson has avoided his 4th so far in the 3rd, and Perkins has 3 for Dallas, along with Donaldson.
Well, he picked up a quick 2 in the 1st and an early 1 in the 2nd. It's sat him down rather quickly.
David Wingate in for San Antonio. And Brickowski, some of his own medicine as he took it in against Tarpley. It'll be Dallas ball. Herb Williams from the weak side over there that time to make the defensive play.
You know, Williams had a hurt ankle there Monday. He was questionable tonight, but there you see getting up there with him is Tarpley for the block on Brickowski, but there was some question whether or not Williams was going to be able to go tonight.
Brad Davis in, opposite Vernon Maxwell at guard. Wingate now on Blackman, who takes him baseline. Wingate with the steal. Here comes Vernon. Brickowski knocked away and a whistle. And a technical on Richie Adebayo. The foul is on Brad Davis. 12th technical in 38 games as the head coach for Richie Adebayo.
Here's another look at it. There's Vernon on the break. Brickowski has the ball there. From behind is Herb Williams. And they call it on Davis. Take a look at it. Let's see if it's inside. Don't see the foul there. It looks like they may have gotten away with something, but that's what got Richie Adebayo so angry. That's why he shot up off the bench, shot it in. He picks up his 12th technical. He's also had this season so far 2 ejections.
No shrinking violet over there. He lets him know what he doesn't like. And after Robinson hits the tee, Brickowski misfires, and it's still 68-63. Speaking of free throws, Larry Bird's streak ends in Houston tonight. He made his first 3 to get to 71, 7 off the record by Calvin Murphy, and then missed. So Calvin Murphy can be a happy man. He didn't want that record to fall, and it didn't.
Talked to him at the All-Star game. Murphy's record, by the way, fell in San Antonio.
Blackman through heavy traffic, and then the reverse follow. 15 for Tarpley, and the lead is 4 as we go under 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. 12 boards to go with those 15 points by Roy Tarpley. Now Robinson stepping through the double team. Hits the deck. Again they swallow the whistle. And now finally DeRosa, after it looked like they were ready to run up the other end of the court, calls the foul on Donaldson, his 4th. They hate that call here.
Here's another look. Watch inside as Robinson goes up, misses the shot, comes down, and they're going to call that Donaldson drags Robinson down to the ground.
Well, drags, tackles, lassos, collars, any number of adjectives. If they had a replay screen here, they would not be booing that foul call, I guarantee you. And only 1 of 2, Brickowski lane violation. And a loose ball foul. They say he pushed off, and that is his 5th.
No wonder he's so angry. At first, it looked like he was very upset about being called for a lane violation, and now they pick up his 5th foul. They got Brickowski with 5, Jones with 4, and so far David Robinson safe with 3.
But you notice the crowd all of a sudden got off the refs. They didn't like the call on Donaldson, so they got their makeup. Deflection off Maxwell, put in by Herb Williams. Well, we are heading toward a great 4th quarter. A minute 18 and a 3-point game toward the end of 3. Each team has taken its turn in front, and the leads have not lasted very long in either case. Maxwell with 5 on the shot clock, and a block by Williams. Blackman with the loose ball. Stop and go move by Brad Davis, and they wave it off. No basket. Now the foul happened about 15 feet away from where he releases this thing.
Now watch. Here's Wingate guarding against Davis. Watch him step in. There's a foul. 1, 2, 3 before he puts the shot up. Now that's not continuation, folks. No matter what they want here in the Reunion Arena. One more look here as Davis makes a charge. The foul was long before he put the shot up.
And a career 84% free throw man misfires. And so it's only a 2-point San Antonio lead. 70-68, 50 seconds in the third.
This is going to be a nail-biter.
Vernon from outside. Jones. Stripped away by Blackman. And Dallas will try for the lead. The three not there for Perkins. Well, it's been a while since the crowds have been this into it. Dick Motta came back with Sacramento a few weeks ago, said he's had dinners at his house that were more lively than the crowd. And this used to be as loud as you could find in the league. Well, it's heading that way tonight. 3 to shoot, three-pointer. Maxwell, nothing but net. And 6 seconds still to go in the quarter. With one, Davis fouled and will shoot 2. And then Maxwell almost hit a 60-footer.
David Wingate can't believe it, too. He's called for hacking across the arm. Wingate's very close to getting a technical, too.
Well, this with 0.8 of the second left. Wingate just now getting the word. His second. Davis back to the line with his club down by 5, and now 4. Well, we'll see what can happen at 0.8 of the second here. Well, Wingate got it off in time, missed everything. And we head to the fourth with the Spurs up by 3. Roy Tarpley doing his part to keep it close. 73-70, San Antonio over Dallas as we head to the fourth here in Reunion. Don't forget, even though tomorrow night's Celtics game is sold out, you can still see it on Paragon Cable's First Choice pay-per-view. You must have a Z-View converter, and the cost is $12.95. Or come on down to the Miller Lite Spurs Spirit Party at the Convention Center South Banquet Hall. Game will be live on a giant screen there. Contests and activities, including a post-game party. The doors open at 6:30. Admission $5, or it's free with your Spurs Celtics game ticket. Dave Barnett, Greg Simmons for one more quarter here in Dallas, 73-70. It was 27-19 in favor of San Antonio in a third quarter turnaround after they trailed by 5 at halftime.
Boy, did we see a swing in momentum there. San Antonio coming out strong, Dallas finishing that way.
Good feed underneath Cummings to Maxwell. And a no call. Vernon with 5. He had the big three-pointer late in the third quarter. When the Spurs lead after 3, they are 24-2 this year. Roy Tarpley rambling in, offensive foul.
He's going to call for the push-off with a hand. That's a good call.
They may have Sam Perkins on this one. They do, and that is his 4th. That was away from the ball. Tarpley, a dozen. Donaldson, 11 rebounds. Robinson, 15 points, 5 rebounds through 3. And the Spurs outshot him in the third quarter. Robinson turned away. Look at the hustle of Vernon Maxwell. A flat-footed Derek Harper saw Vernon take that one away. From the top of the key, Cummings rebounded by Perkins. Harper fairly quiet on the offensive front tonight with only 9. Here's Tarpley. Maxwell, an instigator since he's come in. He's made things happen off the bench tonight. Alley-oop. And the Admiral skies for 2.
One hand. Oh, that was pretty.
Shoulder high to the rim. Mercy. And a Dallas timeout. Dallas with a full timeout, 10.5 minutes to go. They got to regroup after this thing.
His head was above the rim. His arm was clean up there. Look at this alley-oop there by David Wingate. And then you see the Admiral, his head, he's actually looking down on the basket. One more time.
Well worth another look, and it's a 7-point lead.
Very often we'll watch David Wingate here, watching gesture to David Robinson. Go ahead and make the break. Here comes the alley-oop. Oh, and he makes a nice move inside.
And live, Brad Davis with an incredible running one-hander from the corner. Now, we saw the bucket a moment ago that was waved off. They don't wave this one off. Same thing. He's staggering out of bounds from the corner. A blind one. He lets it fly up over the corner of the backboard as he is fouled, and it swishes just like the other one did. This one counts, however. And just like that, it's a 4-point game. Anderson against Robinson. Second chance points, a big Dallas advantage. And Tarpley grabbing another board. Underneath, Robinson foils the alley-oop attempt to Perkins. Wingate loses it to Tarpley, like a tennis match. And then Maxwell fouling Derek Harper as he tried to strip him. That's his second.
For the quickness of David there to react on defense, he read the alley-oop move. He was there. I mean, after all, he executed one just moments ago. He was there for the defensive move. And then that time on the break, David was set up for defense, and Maxwell didn't realize it.
Donaldson returning for Herb Williams. Underneath, Anderson stripping Perkins. They try to alley-oop, not there. They go on again, not there. And Robinson converts. He's got 19 points.
Oh, nice assist there by Willie. Just feeds it off there. Robinson trailing on the left wing. His speed, he's so quick out there.
The first two games between these two were close. But on a scale of 1 to 10, if they were 6s, this one's a 9. The level of play is nowhere near in those other two. It's that much better. For three, Harper. He had 99 of those last year. His 39th this year. Not quite so trigger happy from three-point range. Anderson in a two-man game with David Robinson, who sets a two-man screen for Willie. 19 for Willie Anderson.
David actually took two guys out on that screen to allow Willie the open shot.
You see that in the NFL, very rarely in the NBA. And they wondered if he'd be strong enough to play the pro game.
You notice how the different level in play there with David in the ball game.
Harper, another three-point miss and a loose ball foul.
That's one thing David said after the All-Star game. One thing he thought he could bring back to his team following the play there is confidence. And hopefully that confidence would give his teammates confidence. It would kind of spread out. If nothing else, it would lend itself to help build the team's confidence up as a whole. And he's done that tonight. I mean, when he's in the game, the team plays at a totally different level.
We saw Cummings out. And a foul on Willie Anderson, his second straight, fourth of the game. And the fourth San Antonio team foul. Now, another trend that's hopscotch back and forth in this game. The Spurs avoided the early foul trouble in the third quarter. Now they've already got a total of 4 team fouls. Dallas has yet to be called for one in the fourth quarter. And Sam Perkins with 11 points and only 2 rebounds at the line. Rest of the year very important for him because he is a free agent, and he says that he will not consider coming back to Dallas unless they keep Richie Adebayo. And even then, he's not too sure. He will get some stratospheric offers. 81-78 San Antonio. Brick screening, pick and roll, foiled by Tarpley, and then foiled again by Anderson, but Roy ends up with the loose ball. This is a defensive fan's delight tonight. Not there for Perkins. Tarpley steals the offensive board. And it's Davis for 3. Big defensive rebound by Frank Brickowski. I would not want to be a zebra in this thing tonight. You don't want to be overbearing and call everything. You don't want it to get out of hand, and they are going at one another. This is a war. This has been from the start. Willie knifing between Tarpley and Donaldson, not there. And again, Dallas ball down 3 with 7:20 to play.
Just goes to show you how the makeup of the NBA has changed here. Look at, they play defense in an all-star game, too.
What a blocked by Robinson. Sam Perkins doesn't know where they're coming from anymore. David from the weak side, and Anderson from the corner. Oh, fantastic slam by David. Good heavens.
On one end, he creates the move by making an unbelievable defensive block, and then on the other end, he comes in with a one-hand tomahawk.
Oh, man. Here's how you judge that. The Dallas fans are buzzing still.
Oh, they're just in awe.
Missed by Perkins, and the Donaldson Robinson in the middle of the lane, and this one goes on David, and this is finally his fourth foul.
And David can't believe it.
And we'll have a Spur timeout.
Take a look at it again. This is Willie Anderson trying for the shot, and David with a tomahawk one hand.
Mavericks are going to see this one in their sleep tonight.
Coming over your left side.
Oh, mercy. 83-78 Spurs. Richie Adebayo down 83-78. That's not a good trend for him. They have to have 100 points to have much of a chance to win, and they are not on that pace. They're 19-5 when they have 100 or more points. But with 6:39 to play in the fourth quarter, and James Donaldson at the line, it's San Antonio by 5. Make it 4.
That time on the free throw, Donaldson put more spring in the shot, and that got the ball in that time. Remember, he's a little short the last time.
In his takedown of Robinson, did you think David might have lost his breath?
Oh, no question about it. It knocked the wind out of him. He took him down so hard. David was on the floor for just a moment and didn't even respond to the fact he had been called for the foul because he was stunned.
What a great job, though, delaying that fourth foul. Remember, he had his third early in the second quarter. He played about a half of basketball, foul-free, and some of his finest ever. Cheeks 4 to shoot. Not there. And a loose ball foul against San Antonio. Brickowski is done. He fouls out with 10 points. You know, they used to talk here in Dallas about trying to get rivalries with both of the Texas franchises, Houston and San Antonio. It's never really come off so far, but a game like this is the type, you're right, it's the type that may start a series of wars like this.
They have been going at each other, especially inside. Look at the shooting percentage here and how it's picked up for the Spurs here in this period alone so far. Out shooting the Mavs 56-22, but the battle inside here between Donaldson and Robinson is really getting a little bitter.
David's smile notwithstanding. 1-point game. The All-Star break really timely for James Donaldson, who had 5 straight games under double-figure rebounds before the break. Already a double-double in this one. Cheeks from 20. Can't find the range. And Dallas at the halfway mark of the fourth quarter shooting for the lead. They are on their feet here in Reunion Arena. Harper, three-pointer. Bang.
They left him open, and he did the damage. He was set to take the shot.
Off the foot of Robinson, and it is Blackman for the Dallas steal. Harper with 2 3-pointers here in the period. Make it 3. Unanswered points, 9 on 3-pointers by Harper. Reunion Arena. We are in the midst of a noise tunnel down here. It is 88-83 Dallas. Derek Harper has taken control of this game.
And it hasn't been this exciting in Reunion Arena this season.
5:19 remaining in the game. This is an 18-5 Dallas run. And the 3-pointers have been a major story here in the fourth quarter. And as you know, if you follow the Spurs this year, it's not really in their arsenal. 6 to shoot for Robinson. Doesn't get the call. Donaldson gets the board. Here comes Harper again. Biggest lead of the night by Dallas. This is playoff basketball you're watching. Forget about it's February. This game belongs in May or June. Here's Cheeks. Finally ends the streak. His first point since the first quarter.
He had 6 in the first quarter, unheard from in the second and third, and finally finds his range there. He'd been short on a couple of those outside shots before.
And Cheeks not looking to let Harper get one more three-pointer. 5 to shoot. Herb Williams. And a huge missed opportunity by the Spurs. They fumble away the rebound, and Dallas resets at the 4-minute mark.
Caldwell just misjudged the rebound. The trajectory there went in a little bit too tight and bounced off his hand.
That's a dagger. They almost forced a shot clock violation, but the Admiral makes up for it. Mo Cheeks fouled. Harper with to reach his third. First team foul against Dallas. We played over 8 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Well, Mo Cheeks realized then that the only way to beat Dallas there is just to take it straight to him. He had David on the left side he could have dished off to, but he knew he could draw the foul. He was afraid he might not get the pass in.
Well, that's a big miss. It's still 90-85. Remember, Brown has only lost 2 games this year when his club has led going into the fourth quarter, as they did tonight. Tarpley in to replace Herb Williams. For 2 by Cheeks, and it's still a 5-point Dallas lead. 16th rebound by Roy Tarpley. Off the pick, Blackman. Anderson guarding against the drive. Knocked away, Perkins on the run. All the loose balls going Dallas's way, and they again lead by 7.
What a reaction by Perkins to see the loose ball, be able to react to it and get it in.
Cummings for 3. And Robinson for the follow. And Robinson again in the corner. They reset down to the 3-minute mark. Rolls away right to Robinson. Powers it up, and Tarpley knocks it into the front row.
After having it done to him by David Robinson, Tarpley returns the favor.
Is this a defensive delight or what? I mean, you just have to like this from a basketball fan standpoint. And Mo Cheeks will go back to the line. Another Harper foul is 4th.
You may have thought that was a bad shot by Mo, but
and
in
it's
this case,
technical on Harper. Technical in addition to his 4th foul. Well, not using the best of judgment here. With his club up by 7, 2:48 remaining. And the Spurs now look at 3 free throws plus keeping the ball.
Well, Rolando Blackman is very close to picking up 1, too.
Now that would be a first. Mo Cheeks at 85%. Missed those first 2. Now hits the technical, and now for the foul. And if he makes both of these, it's a 4-point game. And 2:48 to play. You're thinking about the fatigue factor. The Mavericks have used only 7 players tonight. Only Herb Williams and Brad Davis have played off their bench. Brown has gone, as usual, 9 deep. And Mo hits them all. So a 4-point game, 92-88. Blackman denied the shot by Robinson. Here's another 3. Harper finally misfires. And the Spurs, with under 2.5 minutes, can cut it to 2. Sean Elliott is into the game. And a foul as Cummings tried a three-pointer. Foul is on Roy Tarpley. Here again, you wonder about the judgment, fouling a guy in a three-point shot.
First of all, they pick up the foul off of Derek Harper, and then you get the technical with a game this tight. That's not the time you want to lose your cool, and then you go out and challenge a shot that hasn't been falling here for Cummings, and they wind up drawing the foul.
Well, it's the heat of the moment. You have to figure it. It's over-aggressiveness trying to win the game, and it backfired. Third miss at the line here in the period by the Spurs. Maxwell in for Elliott.
That's
defensive
tough.
purposes.
Mo Cheeks missing 2. Now Terry Cummings missing 1.
Well, this is one way they lost the Indiana game Thursday. Free throws didn't fall then either. 1 of 2. Third point of the half by Cummings. 17 for the game. And the margin is 3. Harper almost walked with it. Now it's Maxwell on Blackman. Side cleared. Rowe trying to go it alone. Over Vernon. Top 2.
Oh, did you see the arc he had to put on the ball in order to get it over Vernon, because Vernon was right in his face.
Only 14 for the game for Blackman. 6 and 7 the Spurs under 100. And they are definitely going to have to go. Big shot by Cummings, 94-91, with a minute 40 to play. Harper with 11 of his 20 points here in the fourth quarter, including 3 three-point baskets. So they get it out of his hands, and it's Blackman. The Dallas guards hitting clutch shot after clutch shot in the fourth quarter, and another timeout. A minute 26 to play. Blackman has made it a 96-91 Dallas lead.
Well, the keys here in the fourth period now, the Spurs are going to have to go out and guard the guards. They're going to put a man on Harper. They're going to put a man on Blackman. And Willie Anderson, who we heard from in the third period, we only had 1 basket from him here in the fourth quarter. He's going to have to turn it around. And Terry Cummings is going to have to add to his 3 points already here in the fourth period.
No problem for either team in the timeout situation. We've talked about it before, but here is where if the Spurs had a three-point threat, they would really be able to use it. Down by 5. If you can only make 2, you're looking at 3 possessions. And with a minute 26 to go, that's tough.
So here's what you have to do. You have to open up the lane, send the cutter in, hopefully make the pass to him, and draw the foul. That's the only way you can make the 3 points now.
Well, don't forget our next HSC Spurs telecast coming up Friday night, 7:30, as All-Star Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz visit Hemisphere Arena. 7 o'clock Sports Talk. Hope you can join us. Boston sold out tomorrow night. Certainly Utah should sell out Friday. That is shaping up as a battle quite possibly for first place in the Midwest Division.
Gives us a chance to see the mailman, who, of course, missed the All-Star game, turned the ankle in the game just before the All-Star break. He'll be back. And Larry Bird will be in the Hemisphere Arena tomorrow after the Spurs beat the Celtics in Boston without Bird.
Well, Utah at home against Minnesota tonight. Here's a shock. Minnesota 29, Utah 23. Now that is late in the first quarter. Also, Larry Bird's free throw streak ended at 71 tonight, 7 short of Calvin Murphy's all-time record. And again, Boston is in tomorrow evening. Spurs will go for the series sweep. If they win here tonight, they have clinched the season series over Dallas for the first time in 7 years. Mavericks have won 6 straight series. Here's Anderson right into traffic, and the runner goes. 21 points for Willie, and it's 96-93.
Said we had to hear from Willie again, and we did.
Boy, and it opened up. Nobody challenged him defensively at all. Harper is going to be chased. And now Willie backing off. Maxwell against Blackman. Mr. Clutch his whole career here in Dallas. 5 to shoot. And the pull-up goes again. What a tag team he and Harper have been. 5-point game. Under a minute. Cummings thinking about a 3. But it's too early. Now it is Robinson, and it's blocked by Donaldson. David got it back. And and Cummings up to 21 points. Again, they cut it to 3. 40 seconds to play.
What a reaction by David there to get the block and get it back into Cummings.
Perkins having to handle it in the backcourt. Blackman over Robinson. Big rebound by Cummings. 24 seconds in a three-point game. Willie trying to tie it up. Misses everything. Awful early for that shot to go. And a foul on Willie with 14 seconds to go.
Well, I think Willie's just a little angry with himself. He realizes what he did.
Well, the instinct on an open three-pointer when you're down 3 says take it. He didn't look at the clock. He thought, well, it may be the best shot we get this whole possession. And now it is really tough, down 4.
If you're going to take that shot, you cannot give Dallas a second chance.
It stays in, and Larry Brown with another timeout. 100-95. Dallas over San Antonio, 14 seconds to play. Indiana used the three-pointer to win at Hemisphere Thursday night. Dallas with 3 three-pointers by Derek Harper here in the fourth quarter has reached that magical 100-point mark where they're 19-5 this year.
Now, I tell you, they may be 21 out of 27 in scoring in the NBA because they're averaging just over 101 points. But that 100 mark is just a plateau they need to reach because in the NBA they're 3rd in defense.
Well, again, if you don't have a ticket tomorrow night, it's not a lost cause if you want to see the Spurs play the Celtics. If you have a Z-View converter, Paragon Cable's First Choice will have the game for $12.95. Or come down to the arena, the South Banquet Hall, where the Miller Lite Spurs Spirit Party will begin at 6:30. The game will be up on a live giant TV screen. Doors open at 6:30. $5 admission, or it's free if you have a Spurs Celtic game ticket.
Is that the first time you've ever been on the big screen?
Yes. In that regard, you're absolutely right. Unless you count Jumbotron.
No, I don't think we can.
Okay. Utah and Minnesota now at the half. 57-55 is all Utah leads that one by. Part of the sold-out house here in Dallas. The 6th straight year for them to average well over 16,000 fans here.
Well, if you just tuned in, Frank Brickowski fouled out with 6:18 to play in the game for 10 points. That was their starting forward. They try to adjust there. Mo Cheeks, of course, hitting 2 critical free throws, including a technical there. They'll keep the Spurs in the game. But the play of the guards, unfortunately for Dallas, has really been a big thorn in the side of the Spurs.
Now, Adebayo, with plenty of timeouts, is going to use one here since he's had a chance to see what personnel Brown has in mind. Even after this one, Richie's still with 2 timeouts and his 20. Very popular figure here. Players like him. He has sparked this club. If they hang on, they're 22-16, and a lot of that without Roy Tarpley since he took over for John McLeod. He has long been thought of as one of the better X&O men in the NBA in terms of defense, and he says he likes the fact that he can now show he can also coach the offensive game.
Yeah, but I tell you, that's what's winning the games this year. You take a look at the scoring in the NBA, it's down. You take a look at the teams that are dominating, it's the ones that are playing good defense, and you just look at the All-Star game. Yeah, they played defense.
Yeah, 113 points in an All-Star game. That's a mid-third quarter score usually. That's a new feature here, the Dallas Mavericks dancers. And they've got plenty to dance about so far. The Spurs hoping for a miracle. You figure they come down, look for the quick 2, hope somehow to draw a foul. And if not, they go for the steal. If that doesn't work, they have to foul again. They hope Dallas misses. They hope they can come down and look for a three-pointer and perhaps force overtime. Quite a bit to ask in 14 seconds. Stranger things have happened, though.
It just doesn't get any easier, even though they've got these home games coming up. They still have to play powerhouses like Boston, Utah. They travel to Houston, and they have the Lakers at home. It's a tough schedule for the Spurs here. They're 3-1 in February so far. They haven't had a losing month yet this season.
This one shaped up as being very tough. Dallas came in with 9 wins in their last 11 games. And they have shown the Spurs why they've been on that roll tonight. Anderson to trigger it in over Williams to Cummings. And sure enough, right into the lane, and a foul, but he doesn't get the bucket he needed. Herb Williams puts him on the line. Or does he? Nope, they had a foul to give. That's the first in the last 2 minutes. Now we'll have to see if they give him the continuation. It's not the bonus, but the continuation that counts here, and they will say he was in the act, so Cummings to shoot 2. If he hits him, it's 100 to 97 with 11.3 seconds to go. And there is still hope if that happens. .22 for Terry, 21 for Anderson and Robinson tonight. Had to have that one. Williams fouled with 10.1 seconds. Willie Anderson has fouled out of the game with 21 points. Big cog in the Spurs' third quarter with 10 of his total of 21 points. And then he missed the three-pointer moments ago, some desperation fouls, and he's replaced by Wingate.
They had one big basket there, especially in the fourth period, to keep the Spurs in the ball game. You're right. Read the clock a little wrong, put up the three-pointer a little too early, gave Dallas a chance to get back in the game off of Harper's free throws.
One of 2 for Williams. 101 to 96, down to 8 seconds. And a 3 for Vernon Maxwell, rebounded by Tarpley. And another whistle. With 2.6 seconds, this will be number 4 on Cummings. So in a desperation situation, they keep putting Mavericks on the line. And the tough thing about this is, this margin will not really indicate what a battle this was.
Oh, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, this is one of the more exciting games again we've seen this season. Defensive battle for both teams. What a war inside between David Robinson and James Donaldson. Give Donaldson credit. You pointed it out. The All-Star break certainly helped him. He's well rested and was able to go up against David pretty strong tonight.
Yeah. Donaldson resting with 13 points. 1 second to go, knocked out of bounds, and the buzzer has not sounded. They say it's over. And Linda Carter, wife of Mavericks owner Don Carter, celebrating this one. Make it 10 of 12 for the Mavericks. The Spurs, even with the loss, have won 5 of their last 7. 103 to 96 our final here at Reunion Arena, back at the